We'll do it live.
All right, let me see if we are live. Yeah. There we are.
I don't think you reminded people enough.
No? I tried to get the word out.
No.
Hey, we have one person.
I'm scrolling through our group and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of notices about this.
Hello. Hello.
Hey now. Vetter is here and John, the yes guy.
Yes, UPS guy. They're coming in dwarves. Okay. How's everyone doing?
Bonjour.
We'll wait for a few minutes to get some people here.
I've cut back on my shaving.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Christine's here.
Says, oh no, Kim is delayed again.
Well, I've been delayed since I was a little boy.
Yeah. It's pretty much all we could do for now.
What if I flew to Utah?
That might work. Or I fly to Anaheim. So
I could do the beach.
Yeah, it's good. Do it at the beach. So anyways, yeah, we don't want to talk about that. So try talking faster.
We'll do it live. Try talking faster.
Crunchy or creamy peanut butter?
Crunchy, of course.
Yeah. Someone's dogs are barking. So yeah, that would be great. Break into Disneyland.
I'm building a tunnel.
Hi, UPS's guy's wife.
Kim Rodriguez.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. It's good if married people log in separately. It makes it look like we have more people.
It does. So I thought that we'd talk about we could start off talking about some of the stuff that that are in the park that aren't attractions, restaurants, parades, or shows. And some of the little detail things that we notice around the park. For instance, the petrified tree, right? That's something that's unique that's in the park. High push number oneer. So what other things are there in the park that are kind of special, maybe historical, or stuff that's in the park that aren't that is not an attraction or anything like that?
Well, there's the Court of Angels. Oh, that's right.
So, what about? Well, you have what everyone used to think was the center of Disneyland, right? The Golden Spike. It's not.
Yeah, right there by the castle.
Right.
The backside of the castle.
It has some sort of historical significance to the park.
It's a survey marker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about the old ticket booths that are throughout Fantasyland?
Well, they're in several places, right?
Right. Yeah.
Wasn't one moved into one of the Adventureland shops?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right, Ken.
But the mushroom from Alice,
Yeah.
the mushroom from Alice in Wonderland, the lighthouse for Storybook Land,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Flagpole history. See, even the flagpole is special.
it is. Didn't that come from downtown LA or LA area because there was a light pole at one point, or
Car accident and knocked it over or whatever. Yeah. Well, you have the little man in the tree, right, over in Adventureland.
How long has that been there?
Well, I think they took him out, and then I think they put him back in a different place.
Yeah. I like.
They evicted him. He wasn't paying rent.
That's true. I mean, then there's certain buildings that aren't. I mean, actually house attractions that are historical, but the building itself is historical without the attraction, like the Opera House, right?
The Opera House.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was used for construction, right?
Mm-hmm. The
Mickey Flowers.
Yeah.
And you know why that's there, right? It's
No.
because it's like the start of a Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Oh.
You know, when you walk into the park, you see Mickey Mouse, kind of like it's like a title card.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Mickey Floral, and you know all these things that are not attractions, and if they were still on the ticket system, they wouldn't be able to charge tickets for. But you know, you have like the Snow White Grotto, right?
Yeah.
That's where I proposed marriage. That's
right. There's tons of stuff. I'm trying to just thinking offhand. We didn't do any research or anything. I mean,
never do any research.
The Golden Horseshoe. I was talking about buildings. That's very historical, right? You could still go in there today.
Yes, and of course it's based out. Harper Goff had used that design, I think, in Calamity Jane.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a Disney movie. Harper Goff worked on various Hollywood productions, and so he recreated that for. I mean, you know, these guys were thinking, why reinvent the wheel? So they used the same design and came up with the Golden Horseshoe.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff. Disney has done a bunch of things where the Imagineers were like, why recreate the wheel? You know, there were even decorative elements. Like, they used some decorative elements in the original Star Tours. And if you went to like the Living Seas Pavilion at Epcot, some of the same decorations were used. You know, it's just why reinvent the wheel if you don't have to?
Yeah.
The Little Mermaid fountain. Gretchen says the Little Mermaid fountain. Yeah.
Because
wasn't Triton used in the? They took him over and incorporated him into the Little Mermaid attraction in California Adventure.
Yeah, but what was there? Maybe she was hinting at what was there before the Little Mermaid fountain.
It was Alpine. It was called Alpine Gardens, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the House of the Future was there, right? And that same.
Yeah, House of the Future was there, but then after that was gone, it was Alpine Gardens because it was in the shadow of the Matterhorn.
Yeah.
They had a souvenir stand there, and just kind of little fountains off to the side, little walkway. And yes, it was a Snow White proposal, Kim. I knew my then girlfriend. I knew she was a huge Snow White fan, so I correctly guessed that's where she wanted to be proposed to. I was right, and so we waited to see Snow White there, and then I proposed to her right there. I had somebody there with a camera that she didn't know, so she wasn't suspicious. So,
what'd she say? Anyway. What'd she say?
She said, you know, I guess I have no other choice.
Okay.
That's the secret, by the way, is to kill all your rivals so they have no other choice.
Yeah. See what else?
Each land's entry sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
Each land's entry sign is pretty neat. For so many years, Tomorrowland didn't even have one. You know, and Fantasyland's never really had one. The castle serves as its entrance sign, but Fantasyland hasn't had an entrance sign.
Right.
But Adventureland, Frontierland, Bear Country, then Critter Country. Those have all had entrance signs. New Orleans Square hasn't, but it was kind of New Orleans Square was kind of considered an offshoot of Frontierland. Kim, of course, I had a ring. Sometime I'll have to upload the picture or something of me proposing. Yeah, I had a ring. She had a fast pass for Splash Mountain. John's right. That was what hooked me.
The Mark Twain is historical. I mean, at one point, didn't Louis Armstrong play trumpet on that stage in there on the boat, on the ship?
Yeah. Of course, the Mark Twain had its first voyage before the park opened.
Right. Yeah. I guess just kind of talking about the special things that Disneyland has that you can see that's part of its history besides attractions.
Yeah, gosh, there's just a lot of little details all over the place.
Yeah, when I'm there, I see it and I go, oh yeah, but now I can't think of them. But
they removed Cosmic Waves, but they left the big wet marble in Tomorrowland, didn't they? And they replicated it with the Pixar Pier, the Pixar ball.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that Kim was making a snarky comment. Kim was using our chat to make a snarky comment to her husband.
Okay. Well, what else do we have? You guys know we're losing people.
Yeah. What else?
People.
What else are the little attractions? What about in Toontown? You can blow up the fireworks factory, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of those things over there, like the post office and all that. Blue Bayou. Yeah. That's like a restaurant that's almost an attraction in itself.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, one of the things about Snow White's Grotto, though, is the wishing well. There's a lot of places in the park where people throw coins, right? They used to do it a lot. The load and unload of Small World used to be reversed, and it was easier for people to throw coins into the Small World flume when they were exiting, because there wasn't always a boat underneath them. But now there's always a boat underneath them, so they don't do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gretchen's bringing up the popcorn, the little figurines and the popcorn thing.
Oh yeah, I like those. Yeah, that's a good one.
There's one over by the Haunted Mansion that I guess is supposed to be like a ghoul or a zombie or something. But he's wearing like a top hat or something, and somebody asked, like, is that Abraham Lincoln? And it's like, no.
I just had one. Oh, where the three fences meet each other over by the subs? Those have history in them.
Yeah.
The fence. Yeah. because there's
The three fence.
Yeah, there's one fence that was there from the subs, and then there's one that was put there in 2007 for Finding Nemo when they redid that, and then there's one from the Utopia um, that runs there, and they all meet in one area. They're three different.
Yeah, there's the transitions throughout the park can be really interesting. I mean, the whole like the Tiki building, Tiki Room, and Jolly Holiday Bakery. I mean, those are the same building, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they can effectively transition that. Now, are there going to be any curbs left in the park after they open?
It looked like they were doing something just recently, again at the hub, but
They should. I wonder if they're going to lower the boardwalk or raise up the land right there by the shooting arcade or in Frontierland. You know, I don't know. They're getting rid of all the curbs. Maybe they should get rid of the elevated boardwalk or something.
yeah, I think they put benches there, but you still have to step up. Point, but yeah, some of the shops have a lot of history in them. Maybe not the shop that's current at that time, but it has remnants of another shop or something in that area.
Yeah, and there used to be the Merlin's Magic Shop in Fantasyland, right? But that's
yeah.
Oh, where is? For a while they had. I remember when they had a villain shop in Fantasyland, but they used to have. She's moved around. They had the old hag from Snow White.
Oh yeah.
In one of the shops, and then the cast member could secretly push a button, and the hag would start saying, you know, let me out, let me out. You know, if you let me out, I'll turn water into gasoline. Of course, joke's on her right now because bottled water is more expensive than gasoline. But yeah, she goes, oh, let me out, let me out. And then she goes, oh, fine, you're not going to let me out. You're not going to help an old lady out or whatever. It was great. It's pretty freaky if you're a kid. Yeah. I don't have idea where that is right now. They still have it on stage.
No, I don't think so. That wasn't that villain shop. It's like a Christmas shop now, or ornaments and stuff. Help us out, guys. Or if you have any questions that are not even related to what we're talking about, that's fine too. We can move off topic. I just wanted to start with something. But if you have any questions, that's fine too. What this is about is just chatting. I'd like to stay away from the virus talk, but and the marriage talk. Just kidding. And
yeah, we can do marriage talk. Let's do some marital therapy right here. Lynn, you're drinking water, and now you'll never be president. I had a nice trip to the beach today. No, not really. Toontown Jail is a good one.
Yeah.
JM, welcome aboard. I think I know who you are.
You do?
Yeah, I think it's somebody I used to work with.
JM.
Somebody I worked indie with. Toontown Jail is a good one. The tobacco shop on Main Street was
legendary.
Well, that's the whole reason. That's the whole reason the wooden Indian was out front. You know.
Yeah.
But that was. I understand why they took it out, but still, I mean, for many years after that, they let people smoke in Disneyland, so it's kind of silly to remove the shop. But Oh well.
Yeah.
Does Lynn's band do the sweep spot entry song? I don't think we could afford your band to do it, right?
I don't have
The record company was going to charge us too much.
I don't have a band. It's a friend that I was in a band with that wrote the song, and then I added my drums to it. But yeah,
I know exactly who JM is.
you do? Do I know him? Do I know JM?
You know JM.
I do. Are those his initials?
No. His initials are F and A. But
Oh no. Anyway, so
yeah.
um,
Walt Oscar. Yeah, Walt Oscar. Yeah.
any other questions? That'd be cool.
JM.
Oh, yeah, Crystal. Yeah, that's what I meant.
I can do my haunted mansion wing area impersonation.
What's that?
Lightning.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Oh no. Speaking of things that weren't like official attractions, you know that you used to be able to purchase a round trip on the monorail from the hotel. So it was like it was like at the time it was like $2 or whatever, and you could ride in the back of the monorail from the hotel, go see Disneyland, and then go back to the hotel. And so they wouldn't let you out. Obviously, you just it was just a trip to see the park. Do my race Diaz impersonation.
Well, tell everyone who Rachel is if they don't know.
Well, Ray's been on the show
No, I know.
multiple times.
Remind them.
Yeah. Well, JM. I don't think that that's what is going to be entertaining to the majority of the people who are tuning into this. What did you call it? Alive? Yeah. Now we've got things to do, and yeah. So there you go.
Gretchen asked if you had to work attractions, which would it be? How about you, Ken?
Well, maybe the train, maybe maybe the railroad.
Yeah.
Jungle Cruise, I'm pretty good with dad jokes, so maybe Splash Mountain. I would have to give that a try.
Yeah, I'd probably say
What
haunted.
about
Maybe Tiki Room.
you say haunted?
Maybe Indiana Jones. I don't know. Not Jungle Cruise. Not for me, at least.
No. Uh, what were the most custodian friendly vending snacks? Churros. Churros were the best because if they fell, it was no big deal. Might leave a little churro dust. When you had candy, was terrible when they finally brought that to the park. Uh, the cotton candy would just stick to everything, and Mickey Mouse ice cream bars that were they were very slick, very messy and slick. So we like churros, don't like popcorn. How about that?
Or the fries. Remember the fry cart at Frontierland?
That was the worst. They
Straws or
didn't have any tables there, so it wasn't considered a busser area. So the sweepers had to cover it. And then what we did was people would take the wrapping off the straws, and it would like all fall down the sides there, go down in the landscaping area. Oh, thank you, Gretchen. It's very kind of you to say that. What's the most prized Disneyland memorabilia that you own? Oh, by the way, JM is in the very first pages of our original book, by the way. What is the most prized Disneyland memorabilia that I own? Might be the Splash Mountain log I have. No, I wish. I don't. That's really, really hard to narrow down. But I've got some, rare watches. I've got some very rare Splash Mountain stickers that were never sold commercially.
Yeah.
Things like that. What about you, Lynn? Do you have a favorite?
No. Kidding. I don't know. I have a lot of books. People signed them, and I have my name tags. Do you want to see those? You can't see them. It's too light here. Let's see.
I got a gas-powered weed whacker.
Yeah, I got my name tags.
An inside joke.
See that? I got them in a frame. Let's see. There. You can see it better now. See? Long Beach, California, 45th.
Oh, that reminds me. I do have the Walt Disney and You pin that Ray would give to people who completed his course, and he gave that to me when I was on my way out. So that's pretty valuable.
Yeah.
And sentimental. Lynn, I thought you had the time capsule. I thought that was your prize position.
Oh, yeah.
You dug it up and took it.
Yeah. I have some things, but I can't reveal them. Let's see. What would you say to Walt if you could talk to him?
What would I say to Walt if I could talk to him? I would ask him for some shares of Disney. No. I would just thank him for everything. I would tell him Pinocchio scared the hell out of me as a kid, and I would thank him for everything.
What's that comment there? I don't know what that means.
Pinocchio bow tie sounds nice.
Does it make a sound? I don't know.
Speaking of going back to the memorabilia, I've got a Tomorrowland 2055 jacket. I could actually, I might be able to go get one of the next broadcast. I'll have to bring it in because Tomorrowland 2055 was a canceled project, but there's a few items that Imagineering made up for it. Which JM is asking, do you remember the huge Indy oil cleanup that we did together? Which one? Wasn't there like a lot of them? The hydraulic fluid would leak out of the Indiana Jones vehicles, and it had to be cleaned up, and there's a whole process to it because it was dangerous. Um, yeah, the exposure is why I am the way I am today. You did oil cleanups too, didn't you, Lynn?
Yeah. Yeah, I did one that, we had a manager that was brand new and she didn't know how to do it. So I had to stay over to help because it was a new crew at night and they didn't know what they were doing. So I had to help. I think I ended up working like 12 hours that day.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, Indy had a lot.
B&IB Memorabilia.
Yeah. Any other questions? We have 11 people watching right now, so must have questions.
What's B&IB? What am I missing here?
Oh, all my B&IB. Only one?
No question.
Oh,
brand new in the box.
Oh.
Yeah. You're out of your box. Yeah. You can go. You can go to Japan in pieces, Woody. Yeah. Brand new in the box. What was your biggest regret working at Disneyland? Well, there was this one guy I worked with an indie. My biggest regret working at Disneyland. Oh, there's and bad mistakes. I've made a few. I don't really want to get into that, I guess. Well, I regret that I didn't get a career position with Disney. I mean, my life's worked out pretty good. In fact, today actually is my 20th anniversary at my other job.
Yeah.
20 years ago, I started the job I work now, kind of, sort of. I mean, I started with the organization. I've gotten promoted since, of course, but so my regret, I never got to be an actual Imagineer. I mean, Ken, what made you choose purple tiger print as your background? Well, everybody's always calling me Tiger. No, seriously, you know what the deal is about the background? Let me see if I can find something here. Let's see. All right. My wife it's kind of like my wife's thing. She's a paparazzi consultant. Okay. And the background kind of fits her theme. We've got my wife uses an electric scooter, and we have the scooter done with that theme. We have seat covers in the van and a license plate frame, and the steering wheel and all that stuff. It's all with that scheme. So. Yeah, what's Lynn's biggest regret?
I would say mine is probably I didn't take it more serious. I think I was I think I would have tried to. I don't know, because I was offered to do a trainer, things like that, and I just didn't. I just didn't do it, and I wish I had maybe. I don't know. Yeah, just try to do more with it. Try to promote myself, I guess, better. I think I could. I just didn't at the time. I was having too much. I could have become a
Well,
general.
we also had managers. We had managers who had their own quirks. Like there was one manager we had. I used to. I wouldn't talk in definitives. She would say, "I need this to get done," and I'd say, "Okay, well we'll go. We'll go try that. You'll try it." It was like, "Well, we'll do it." I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to get hit by a bus on the way over. I mean. But yeah, so she wanted us to talk and declare. So it's kind of like a learning ground for your next job. PDXer says hi, Ken and Lynn,
Hello.
and thank you, Ken, on the anniversary wishes. And JM says that he stayed too long at the park. Well, we have said previously that if I could get compensated what I do now, working at the park, I'd work at the park. Of course, right now, most people who work at the park aren't working at the park.
True.
I am still working. I still got my job. I'm still getting paid, but I'm still working. So I don't take that for granted. Oh, there was a regret. I took French in high school, and I took it. I took French several times, but at one point they were recruiting people. I think this was in 1997. They were going to recruit some of us to go work at a special event for like a few weeks or a couple of months at Disneyland Paris. And I guess, I thought, here's my chance to go to Disneyland Paris, but my French just wasn't good enough, We had this really new guy who was kind of a con, I think, but he ended up going. I think he conned his way to going. And while they were over there is when the whole Princess Di thing happened. And, I regret not being able to go for Disneyland Paris, but the Princess Di thing, I was almost sure that this guy who had worked with us just a short time had something to do with that. I just figured he's probably got something to do with it.
PDXer asked, "What was it like to wash down the park?" That wasn't part of our job. Night crew did that.
Night crew would do it. I would look at that as, the night crew leaves the park basically sparkling every morning, and then they come back to it, and it's, I mean, as clean as we would try to keep it, they come back to it and it's all dirty again. Everything needs to be washed again, polished, brassed, dusted.
We would see them. Yeah, we'd get to see them do it sometimes, but
yeah. I think JM's just here to get screenshots. He posted a screenshot of in one of the groups. So I can, do that, What we do sometimes is we would have the utility shifts, which when the park had more limited hours, say it was closing at 6 or 7 during the week, they would bring us in, to when the park would close, we would do things like take down the light fixtures and clean them, or, anything that required extra attention. And night crew would, and Kim asked about night crew doing the deep cleaning. They would vacuum, they would hose down everything. They would go through the attractions and vacuum and dust and clean. The streets, the walkways would get hosed down. Everything would just get thoroughly cleaned. The windows would get washed. So it's pretty impressive. It's kind of resetting the show. Sorry, I'm just trying to spread the virus. And JM says, Ken, you and I sure had our share of famous people sightings at Indy. When we worked Indy, it was only a year after it opened, so it was still the main hot attraction. So that's where the celebrities were going to go, and so we did see people.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Yeah, that would be quite interesting if JM was co-host.
yeah, we need to have a little. Which time of the? Oh wait. We got a few here. Can imagine deep clean and sanitizer crews will ramped up building up. Yeah. What time of day would you prefer to work at the park?
Well, let's take the Kim's comment is you're correct. They're gonna have to do some cleaning. I mean, right now the park is still alive. I mean, you have plants and they're dropping stuff. You've got live animals. They're making messes. All of that stuff needs to be cleaned up. But they're gonna. It'll be interesting to see what procedures change going forward in both the overnights and during the day operations. They probably should hire and train more custodial staff to help reassure people that things are getting sanitized, but that's going to be up to them. We'll have to see how they handle that. So, which time of the day would you prefer to work at the park, Lynn?
I think I enjoy daytime the most, but I also kind of miss the nights for other reasons. If I had to go back now, I would probably pick nights. I think it's just cooler at night.
One of the things about nights, it's not as hot.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. Then you get to close if we're working the closing shift, close out the park. Try to get everything finished up and hand it over to night crew. Typically, we would be there like an hour and a half after the park closed. And then, depending on what's happening, like there were some summers where we would do that, and a lot of the people would go to breakfast after their shift. So it ended up being a really late night because it's park's closing at midnight. You're off at 1:30. You go to breakfast. You're not going to get home and get to sleep until 4 or whatever.
Wow. Yeah. We were younger then too. We could do that.
And JM said he enjoyed working the parade building. Yeah, the parade building, we would clean the floats. That was one of the things we did. But of course, you're not interacting with the guests at all. Some people like that. I liked actually working out with the guests. I liked working in the park. Our assignments could include backstage assignments. We could, work in the parking structure, working the esplanade, which is the area between the parks. I preferred working in the park, not, so parade building wasn't really my thing.
I think I did parade
PDX,
building, before I left. I think I was doing it on Sundays for like a year.
yeah.
But yeah. Oh yeah, the Phantasmic barges. Jan was saying we did those too. I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I worked with JM in the building once or a few times, but yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Your last guest, Melissa Roan, was great. Yeah, we like having various guests on the show. It's a lot of fun. Tour guide.
No.
The problem with being a tour guide is there's a lot of stuff I'd like to say that would be going off script.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be fun. I mean, you get to meet a lot of people, and
the thing about tour guide guest relations sort of thing, escorting celebrities, that would be part of that. I could do that.
yeah,
You have to be kind of the bad guy. If the celebrity doesn't really want to be slowed down by fans, then you kind of have to play the heavy. Like, sorry, they're here with their family, they're not doing autographs today, so you're kind of disappointing people. But that way, it's you and not the celebrity.
yeah.
Yeah, I know JM got to do tour guide plaid stuff for various media events and things like that.
Yeah, I remember
that. Custodial, like other departments, custodial could be drawn upon to do, like Lynn's got that story of working, what was it, the Tower of Terror opening?
Oh yeah. That was fun. I got to escort or get to sit with was it a radio station from, I think it was from Phoenix, and so I got to ride tower with them and hang out all day. It was pretty fun. It was different from custodial, so I think that's why I liked it. Can I talk about a not long-lasting attraction at Disneyland? Yeah, sure. Anything. Well, not almost anything. Waiting.
The suspense.
I see it coming, but I don't understand it.
I should get a bookcase behind. I should get a bookcase behind me too. Rocket Rods. It had fat and food shaming. It had Rocket Rods had fat and food shaming. It did.
I don't know what that's referring to. I think there was something at Epcot that they had, but I don't know anything about that.
Well, Rocket Rods, of course, was part of the Tomorrowland overhaul, and it opened up to replace. It opened up and where the People Mover and Circle Vision had been. Of course, now Buzz Lightyear is there, and nothing's on the People Mover track. But Rocket Rods didn't last very long. Had a lot of downtime. Went on hiatus and still hasn't come back. What was the last ride you saw go away? Well, Lynn was there longer than I was. I left in 2005. I was there just long enough for Space Mountain to be rebuilt. Rode the rebuilt Space Mountain, which is, the track is exactly the same as it was before. So what's the last one I saw?
I'm trying to think. 2000.
Saw Rocket Rides go on hiatus.
Yeah. Country Bear Jamboree. That was 2001.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw the Country Bears go away. That was September of 2001, as fate would have it. Two words, Starlight Limo. You mean Superstar Limo?
Yeah.
That went away. Who was your favorite guest? Well, for me, it's kind of hard to pick one. Arthur was really special. Write about him in the book.
Favorite guest on the show or favorite guest at the park?
Oh, our favorite guest. See, I thought you were asking at the park. Arthur would be a little hard to get on the podcast.
Yeah. What about there were so many I can't even remember. I don't know.
We've had some really great guests on the podcast, and yeah,
that's.
I was thinking about getting more. Lynn's always setting up like who's going to be on the podcast, and I'm thinking, maybe I'll start drawing on some of the people I know.
Yeah.
And so you might hear more people that I actually have known personally. And thank you, Brady Myers, for the compliments, the nice words.
Good night, Jay.
What do you think will be the biggest change at Disneyland or DCA due to COVID-19? I'm hoping that what ends up happening is that people are just going to be using a lot of temporary throwaway gloves and masks. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that we don't end up with permanent things where, you can't wait in line and you've got to, keep the attendance down and all that stuff. Thank you, JM, for having joined us. Kim Rodriguez is saying food shaming, fat shaming, weird, going on exercise bikes to lose weight, judgmental. That's not part of Rocket Rides. I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't know. Your podcast is awesome. Give YouTube some time. I know we're trying to figure it out. We're going to have more stuff going on this. I think we could add a guest to this and interview them and then have people ask questions to the guests. Because I know we can add more people. So maybe we'll do that. I'm just trying to figure out someone that has a camera and can do all this. Christine asked, do you have a personal favorite time of year in the park? I would say mine is probably Christmas. That's probably an obvious. Probably a lot of people think that. I don't know. How about you, Ken?
It's hard to say because Christmas is such a beautiful time, but it's also so crowded. I liked. Well, there's a difference between working and visiting. And visiting, I used to like to just stay really late, so later hours in summer and stuff like that. But working, I like the slow seasons. when they had those,
So January, February.
Yeah, that was great time.
Sometimes May.
It's not. Well, what are you talking about, Kim? What? Maybe a walk to a track? No. Oh, you know what? Maybe it was in Interventions.
Yeah, maybe.
It might have been an because Interventions originally, I think, had a health section where they were encouraging like exercise and stuff.
We have 5 more minutes.
Interventions had sections. It had like health. I think health was one of the sections, and I forget what the other ones were, but like maybe workplace, home entertainment, maybe. So yeah. Now rock and rods did go through interventions at the upper level, and they had their storage. They had their storage area up there, their maintenance bay. So there is a connection there. Yeah, you never know how people are. You're saying that the health one is very judgmental. You never know how people are going to take things. Tropical Imports was a store. It's now like stroller parking, I think. But it used to be a store that was right there at the exit of the Jungle Cruise. And on the outside, they had painted on, kind of an advertisement that said "Primitive Arts and Crafts." And I had a woman approach me. I think she was an anthropologist or something, a professor at a university, and she said, that's very offensive to call something primitive. And I said, well, you have to understand this is, a time period. This is back in the day where that kind of language would be used. It's primitive arts and crafts. That's the kind of language they would use. So, and the health one, I could see, you never know. I don't recall of details about. They had the health. They had the Wonders of Life Pavilion at Epcot Center, and they had some of the same elements, I think, there. So I don't know. I don't know how judgmental it was over there in Florida.
I don't remember it at all.
My PDXer says my slow time was to sneak in between after Halloween and 4 days more. Huh.
Yeah. So early November.
Yeah, that used to be definitely a really good time. It's gonna be interesting to see the crowd patterns when they reopen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's now that it's more of a resort that you would spend multiple days at. I mean, you can get people traveling there to spend a week there. Maybe they're going to spend a week there. Maybe they'll spend a couple of days of that week doing something else in Southern California. But it used to be, especially when it was just Disneyland and not California Adventure, people would come for the weekend. You could drive in on a Friday, spend Saturday and part of Sunday there and drive home. So.
All right, any last questions before we go? We have 2 more minutes.
Well, Kim, congratulations on weight loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any suggestions for our next live stream?
I say we do it from the beach.
We could do that. Okay. So
Yay.
we have a good guest coming up on our podcast next time. A frequent guest.
Yes. One of our most popular guests.
Yeah. It should be good.
John wants us to have a larger spread. Yeah, I mean, where are the crackers? I want the crackers with cheese. I want some escargot and some caviar. Where is it?
DW, say good night, Lynn and Ken. Good night.
Well, thank you, DW. I think I know who DW is, right? John's referring to sometimes in the podcast I'll refer to the great spread of food that Lynn has arranged for the show.
Oh yeah. Love your vlog.
Yes, PD. Pediatric, you definitely need to buy the second book.
It's right here. If you want to buy it, I will send you this copy, this actual copy right here. I will send it to you if you buy it at our website tonight. There. It's a secret. We're not revealing our next guest.
You'll find out next Saturday.
Friday night, Saturday, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. And we will do this again in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks. Have a listen to the podcast, and thank you for joining us, and spread the word about our YouTube channel.
Yes. All right. Good night.